Hey guys, so we finally have the full information on all of the new units coming to the Dragon Ball Legends 2nd anniversary. So we're going to go ahead and go over everything. I just finished a live stream where I actually looked at all these guys' kits already, so I already know what they all do. So I'm not going to be like super surprised at what they do because I already know what they do. I'm just going to go over what I think are the most important parts of all of them. Otherwise, we have 12 units. This is going to take forever if I don't break it up like that. So we're going to do this we're going to start with Vegeto Blue, we're going to work our way through the Sparkings, then go through the EXs, and then touch a little bit on the hero units, and then we'll talk about the banners as well a little bit, and then that will be this video. I'm going to be doing a separate video talking specifically about the banners themselves, and which banner I feel is better. So that'll be a separate video, so keep your eyes out for that. But here we go, Vegeto Blue, very good stats. I mean, he is the highest power level in the game. All 5 of the new Sparkings coming out have, prior to this update, they have the highest power levels in the game. You can take a look, like they're all the top here. So he has a lot of stuff going on. I mean, look at this. Look how much text there is. Just by looking at that alone, you know this is just stupid. Main ability, you can't even keep up with me, can you? Randomly destroys one of your own cards. Draw the Ultimate Arts card. Final Impact Rush next. Restores own health by 20% and ki by 50. Plus 40% of damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Reduces damage received by 20% for 20 timer counts. And then needs to be, the battle needs to have elapsed 25 timer counts. So very, very powerful main ability because it draws the ultimate and then does all this stuff already. Unique ability number 1. Applies the following effects itself when this character enters the battlefield. 50% of damage inflicted. Reduces damage received by 30% for 15 timer counts. Nullifies attribute downgrade in abnormal conditions for 15 timer counts. Draws a special arts card next. So that's a green card. So for one time only, he guaranteed draws a special arts card. So he guaranteed draws a green card. Knocks back enemies to long range if a cover change is performed against their blast arts attack, and then he combos that into a special move card. So this is similar to how Bardock works. Bardock counters blast attacks and blasts the enemy back. Exactly the same thing this guy does. The only thing I will say that makes this guy very stupid is his special move. Let's take a look at the special move first. Does massive impact damage. Inflicts all enemies with no switching for 3 timer counts upon activation. So if you're getting blast attacked by a red unit and you counter with this guy, you can then use your special move and they're not going to be able to switch. And you're just going to instantly kill them. Because this does so much damage. It's just crazy. And then the other unique is I'm tired of listening to you preach. So he is a counter to other Fusion Warriors. Fusion Warrior and Fusion Warrior action incoming. Applies the following effects to self every time when faced with an enemy depending on their battle style. Melee type is 40% to strike damage. Range type is 40% to blast damage. Support is arts card draw speed increased by 1 level. And then defense is gain attribute upgrade minus 30% to enemies sustained damage cut effects. The following effects occur upon landing a strike arts hit. Draw a strike arts card next, which is really stupid. This is such a powerful effect right here. This sentence. This is like probably the most powerful sentence in this entire man's kit. Upon landing a strike arts card, you draw a strike arts card. Activates twice. Count resets when switched to standby. He's never going. So the big thing about this guy's kit is he doesn't have card draw speed, which is what you would expect a melee type unit to have these days. But he just completely ignores that because he has this. He just has an infinite stream of strike cards basically. And it resets when you switch to standby. So every single time he switches in, he's going to be able to get 2 strike cards for free every time you use a strike card. So it's just crazy. And then every strike card, he restores his own ki by 5, and he inflicts enemy that would downgrade minus 100% to health restoration for 3 timer counts. So although he also does, we'll get to this later, but he does nullify endurance here. He basically makes it that endurance is meaningless because he makes them not able to heal. So that you proc their endurance, and then they're going to heal 1 health, and you just strike them again and they're dead. It's really stupid. And then he has Blast Armor, just because, why not? It's Vegeto Blue, give him Blast Armor. Savage Strike, so this is the card he draws when he switches in the first time. The following effects occur upon hit. Cancels enemy attribute upgrades, inflicts enemy with attribute downgrades, and then it's comboable into everything. This is very reminiscent of Beerus' green card. Very, very powerful effect. And then his ultimate. Deal supreme damage. Supreme damage is... I should probably cover this. This is the only unit in the game that has this multiplier. If we take a look at somebody else, like let's just pull up, I don't know, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I usually use him as a reference. So, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, his ultimate is massive. His power is 355. Vegeto's power is 395. That's, it's going to make quite a difference. Applies the following effects to self upon activation: 50% to ultimate damage inflicted for 3 timer counts, gain attribute upgrade, minus 100% to enemy sustained damage cut for 3 timer counts, nullifies enemies restore health when it reaches 0 effects with its character attacks for 3 timer counts. Gain attribute upgrade, nullifies enemies special actions that activate when changing cover, and he's blast armor. So this means, for example, if you're comboing the enemy and they switch into Bojack, and you use this ultimate skill, Bojack's cover change doesn't work. It just nullifies that. First unit ever to do this. And then he holds 2 special strike cards. He holds this one, which is 20% to strike damage inflicted for 2 timer counts. And then the other one is inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade. It doesn't really specify what it is, but it's probably going to be like increased damage received or something. So at 2 stars, which is where people, if you pull this guy, you're probably going to have him at 2 stars. Base strike attack and defense for fusion, which is obviously really good. 3 stars is the same thing to God Key and fusion, or he gets up to 22%. And then 6 star, he picks up future. So he's buffing 3 tags. Attack and defense. Strike attack. Very, very powerful. I mean, this might be it. This might be the best character in the game, including Zenkai 7 units. Including Zenkai 7 Beerus, including Zenkai 7 Cooler. This guy might be the king. I think it's very possible. Alright, we got Merge Zamasu here. He is another really powerful unit. Perhaps a further demonstration of my power. Draw the arts card Lightning of Absolution next. Restores zone health by 20% and ki by 40. Gain attribute upgrade minus 100% to enemy sustained damage cut for 15 timer counts. And then requirements are 25 timer counts must elapse. Pretty powerful, especially when we see what else he can do. First unique is applies the following effects to self according to the number of timer counts elapsed from battle start. 15 timer counts is 40% of damage. 30 counts is increased arts card draw speed by 1 level. 50 is minus 5 to arts costs. So he has the golden duo, which is what I like to call it. He has arts card draw speed increase along with either key restoration or reduction in cost. And then 30% of blast damage inflicted against all characters except Zamasu or other Goku Black units. Okay. The second unique is applies the following effects to self after enemy attack is over. Gradually restores health each timer count for 30 timer counts. Plus 20% damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled. Up to 80%. That's a huge number. 80% is a huge number. So he works like Purple Cooler and Purple Goku Black in terms of him getting buffs from being attacked, but this is permanent. This lasts forever. 80%. It's a lot. Reduces damage received by 40% until combo ends. Okay. Knocks enemy back to long range if a cover change performed against their strike arts attacks. So he does have the similar knockback feature to Vegeto Blue, but this is on strike attack instead of blast. He has a special blast card here, which is plus 5% to own health restoration for 15 timer counts, and he holds 2 blast cards, so that's going to be pretty prominent. You're going to see this buff active a lot, and that pairs up well with this part of his passive, and then also his main ability where he restores 20% of his own health. You can also pair this guy up on regen with Super Baby 2, so a lot of healing going to be going on here, as if that's what we needed in this game, right? It's fine. Divine Wrath is a special move, deals massive explode damage, inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade, plus 20 to strike arts cost for 20 timer counts. That is so annoying. That is so annoying. And then special skill is actually also really good. Reduces enemy ki by 40, a lot like Kid Buu. Also randomly applies 2 of the following effects to self, restores ki by 40, and then plus 20% to blast damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, and then also has the chance to nullify attribute downgrades for 20 timer counts. So this green card's really, really good. I like it a lot. And then the ultimate skill is Lightning of Absolution. This is a really stupid ultimate skill. Deals massive impact damage, applies the following effects to self according to the number of enemy battle members upon activation. 3 battle members is plus 30% ultimate damage inflicted for 3 timer counts. 2 battle members is plus 50%, and then 1 battle member is 70%. 70% is a lot. Then he's buffing Future Blast Attack, Blast Attack to God Key and Future, and then he picks up the double buff here to Future and God Key as for Blast Attack and Defense. And then, this is the only unit in the game who buffs the powerful opponent tag. I'm telling you that's going to be important later on, but that's Murzumasu. He is... I mean, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure. Alright, Super Saiyan 4... Well, I guess I should say his name correctly. Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku. I'm just going to call him Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, because that's how he should be called. Okay, so... I'm just warning you guys right now, this guy seems very, very stupid to me. Main ability is These Times Were Dark Enough Without You. Draw the Ultimate Arts card, Unleashed Super Dragon Fist next, plus 20% of damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, plus 30% of blast damage inflicted for 30 timer counts, and increases Arts card draw speed by 1 level for 15 timer counts. Okay. That's a lot of stuff he's doing, even while also just drawing an ultimate card. Arts card draw speed is really, really important for this guy. This is the kind of power I'd be running away from. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield if there is a tag Saiyan battle member other than this character in the party. Restores ki by 50, just straight up. If you know, by the way, this guy switching in, he only restores ki by 30. So this guy's restoring ki by 50, just letting you know. Reduces damage received by 45%. The other Goku does it by 35%. Applies the following effects to self when this character uses a blast card. Plus 25% of damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, and then minus 4 to blast arts cost. This is going to be so good with this. And keep in mind, this only requires one Saiyan as a battle member. So that means you can run this guy alongside Omega, as long as you have another Saiyan with you. So GT is going to be so stupid. Maximum Overcharge. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Draw a blast arts card next. Plus 15% of damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, and then plus 20% of blast damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Okay, look how long the special move is. If you guys are familiar with how Android 21's special move works, she gets an increase to her damage for every card she destroys. This Goku has a similar effect here, except it's for every specifically blast card he destroys, but he's getting a much bigger buff than 21 is. And 21's special move only deals major damage, while this guy's is dealing massive. He gets up to 100%. Like, that is so stupid. It's just so crazy. Green card, as I told you, it was useless. Restores own ki by 30 upon activation. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 20% to impact damage received for 30 timer counts on hits, and it's comboable. This is a lunging forward type of green card, and it does have blast armor, so... comboable into everything, and it also restores 30 ki. Very, very good. And then the ultimate skill. Watch, look at this. Massive impact damage, restores own health by 40%. If you're running Super Baby 2, like... this is going to become 60% health. With Super Baby 2, this becomes 60% health restored for just using his ultimate card. Of course, it has to hit first, but still. Holds 2 blasts, and then he's buffing GT blast attack, and then at 6 stars, he's buffing GT and Saiyan blast attack. So, this guy is going to be quite, like, the force to be reckoned with. But honestly, this guy seems like he might be the best next to Vegeto Blue right now. Alright, the last Spark King we have to go over is Omega Shenron, and he does some pretty interesting things. So, main ability is I promise to kill you at all costs. Draw the Ultimate Arts card, Negative Karma Powerball. Restores ki by 30, and then 30% of damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Apex Shadow Dragon is the unique, increases own Dragon Balls by 1 when battle starts. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield, plus 30% of damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Reduces damage received by 20%, and then look at this. Plus 10% damage inflicted per Dragon Ball you possess. Effect resets when characters switch. So this is similar to... I made a video a while ago talking about Demon King Piccolo, who I want in this game. And he actually... This is like kind of what I was talking about. Like, he gets stronger the more Dragon Balls you have. It's literally what I wanted. So if you have 7 Dragon Balls, this guy's getting 100% increased damage when switching in. Because he gets a 30% here. Right here, and then he's getting the 70 from this, plus with his main ability you get an extra 30, so it's 130 in total. Oh man, and he's just doing a lot. Like, applies the following effects to enemy when this character lands a strike or blast arts cost, 20% chance to inflict poison, bleed, and then 10% for paralyze. And then if you have a GT battle member, you get a 15% chance to inflict poison upon a strike or blast arts, 15% chance to inflict heavy bleed upon a strike or blast darts, and then if you have a Shadow Dragon ally other than this character, you get a 20% chance to inflict a paralyze on a strike or blast darts. So this guy's doing a lot of status stuff, which is something that we haven't seen too much of, honestly, recently, but it's very annoying to deal with. His special move is Negative Karma Ball. This is an interesting special move as well, because he deals massive, and then he does 30% to special move, awakened, and ultimate damage inflicted by all allies for 20 timer counts upon activation. That's very reminiscent of Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta's main ability, because Vegeta's main ability is also giving 30% to special move, awakened, and ultimate damage inflicted by allies. So if you run them both together, and I think that's a very plausible scenario, because you run red Omega Shenron, you run red Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, you can now run the green Goku for a red-red-green GT setup, and that's just going to be ridiculous. I feel like that might be the setup that you want to be using with this guy. And then we're not done, because these two things down here are both so stupid. This, by the way, is the same thing as Yellow Gohan's green card. Inflicts all enemies with 3 substitution counts upon activation. So you hit them with this, they cannot switch. Upon activation, by the way. So even if they don't get hit by it and they back out of it, you can just Rising Rush them. They can't avoid it because they're in, basically. That has to mean that their Vanish is gone too, so keep that in mind. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 20% of damage received, and then again, comboable, strike, blast, special move, ultimate. And his ultimate is also very ridiculous. Deals massive, gains 50% of ultimate damage inflicted, and then a portion of the damage inflicted will also be dealt to enemy members on standby. This is an AoE ultimate. This is similar to what Golden Frieza was doing last year. Let's see if we can find him. Golden Frieza, probably more up here. So Golden Frieza's ult did not increase its damage at all. All it did was massive, and it was an AoE. This guy's doing 50% ultimate damage, and it's an AoE. This is going to hit a lot harder. And then he holds a Blast and a Strike, both destruction cards, GT Strike Attack, GT or Regen Strike Attack, and then we get to GT or Regen Strike Attack and Defense. So, I don't know, man. GT is looking really, really insane. Okay, so we'll go through the EXs here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these guys, but I think it's important to highlight Gogeta because I think Gogeta is actually really significant. He restores ally health by 20% with his main ability and cancels allies' attribute downgrades, 20% to damage inflicted for 60 counts, which is a long time. Attribute upgrades, minus 30% to allies, enemy sustained damage cut for 60 counts. And then this is, I think, what the Fusion Warrior team actually needed a lot, which is... So first of all, he gets 40% of damage inflicted and then restores ki by 20 upon switch in, which is good by itself. Applies the following effects to allied tag Fusion Warriors when this character is switched to standby. 10% of damage inflicted up to 30, and then restores ki by 20. He restores ki on switch out to Fusion Warriors. Oh man, this guy is very reminiscent of the blue Saiyan Saga Goku because this is similar to what he's doing. But he only gets up to 30, which is not terrible. Again, this is the only support unit. Even though he's technically a melee type, I would classify this guy as a support unit for fusions. Long-awaited superpower. This guy is very similar to Android 13, the EX red one, because he reduces damage received by 70% for the first, basically, attack, and then after that, he is going to be getting a 50% strike damage boost. And then he also reduces damage received by 20%, and then increases card draw speed by 1 level after being attacked. So, I don't know, this guy seems really good. He has I think this is the only EX in the game to have massive damage on a blue card. 20% of damage inflicted, and he has blast armor. A special skill. This special skill, by the way, restores ki by 50, which is already good by itself. That's a good green card. Plus 20% of strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, and then he restores own Vanish by 100%. Well, it's once only, but still, that is crazy. And then he's buffing Fusion Warriors Strike Attack, and then he's also buffing Fusion Strike Defense. So Fusion is only Fusion Dance. So these are the allies getting buffed by that. So he doesn't have the craziest Z ability for now, because most of the team is Vegeto dominant, but once we start getting better Gogeta units, this is going to be crazy. Alright, so EX Super Trunks. He looks interesting, but he's not like a game changer. He's very glass cannony. He reduces his own arts card draw speed when the battle starts, but he gets 60% strike and blast attack. Randomly destroys one enemy card upon landing a strike or blast arts hit, and then the way he sort of makes up for that is every time a Vegeta family or hybrid Saiyan is defeated as an ally, he gets a draw speed level, basically, so that he recovers this, and then the second time someone is defeated, he gets an extra one, so he's going to be sort of a good last man standing. 30% of damage inflicted, additional 20% of damage inflicted if an allied character Vegeta is defeated every time they're defeated. So if you have 2 Vegeta family members that are dead, this guy's getting 100% extra damage. And his main ability is draws a strike card, restores one key by 30, 30% of damage inflicted for 60 timer counts, which is a very long time, reduces damage received by 20% for 60 timer counts, so you kind of want to pop this sooner rather than later so that he can have this buff for a longer period of time. This is interesting because it destroys all of your cards and randomly draws 3 new ones on hit. So, and also the green card is 20% strike damage, and then he destroys all of your cards and randomly draws 3 new ones, which is good because if you're starting the fight out with, you know, -1 to card draw speed, this sort of amends that because you can just artificially draw more cards through these abilities here. And then Vegeta Family, he's actually buffing strike attack and defense as well as hybrid. So they really are pushing Vegeta Family a lot in this celebration, which I think is fine because the tag honestly needed help. Now Vegeta is interesting. Vegeta has an ability that we've never seen before. Main ability, draw a special move arts card next. Restores own key by 35, -15 to own special move arts cost for 10 timer counts. That's the blue card. Plus 80% of special move damage inflicted for 5 timer counts, and then reduces enemy vanish gauge to 0%. So you basically, if you get hit by this main ability, you pretty much just want to switch out. Otherwise you're going to get blasted. Because you draw a special move, you get 35 key, and you reduce the cost of the special move by 15, so it's going to cost 35. So what the special move does: major impact damage and 50% to special move damage for 3 timer counts. So this guy's special move is going to be hitting super hard once he uses his main ability. His unique is when this character enters the battlefield, applies the following effects if a tag Vegeta Family or tag Saiyan other than this character is a battle member. 30% blast damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, and then draws a blast card next. The following effects occur every time this character defeats an enemy. So basically how Zenkai Goku Black works. 30% of blast damage, or just to damage inflicted, and then 20% of damage inflicted by allies other than this character. So that's where this sort of support type comes in. If you defeat a character with this guy, your whole team gets 20% of the damage inflicted, which is pretty good. It's not the best thing ever, because it's not super common, but this is going to happen, but I think it's a pretty good effect. And then his blast card gets a natural downgrade on the enemy plus 10% damage received, which is actually pretty good because 10 timer counts is not a short period of time. Green card is 20% of blast damage inflicted, also restores own key by 30 if there is a defeated enemy battle member, pretty good. And he has this one special card here, which is 20% to blast damage inflicted for 2 timer counts when used. And then this guy's also buffing Vegeta Family, and it is double offenses. So they have yet another double attack buffer for that team. Alright, the last EX here we have is Shenron. The biggest thing to note about Shenron, we're just going to go straight to his Z ability. I think I'm probably going to be dumping my multi-Z power into this guy. Because at 3 stars, you get both offenses to GT, so strike attack and blast attack, as well as Shadow Dragons gets 10% strike. So Mega Shenron's going to love this guy on the bench. At 6 stars, it goes up 25 and 15. So Z ability wise, I feel like this guy's going to be premium. Main ability is 30% of damage inflicted by allies for 20 timer count, so a pretty good supporting move there. And then it also shortens allies' substitution count by 3. So if you're running this guy with Baby, it's going to allow Baby to swap in and out more often, which means more healing and supporting. Born of Greed, 20% of damage inflicted by allied tag GT from the start of battle until this character is defeated, so yet again, more supporting effects. Following effects occur when this character is switched to standby. If a tag Shadow Dragon other than this character is a battle member, restores own key by 30. That's really big, because restoring key by 30 is going to affect everybody. Reduces damage received by 30% for 20 timer counts. So I think the way this works is this guy switches out, and he gets this buff for himself, so he's not going to be able to utilize it until he switches back in. So he's really only going to have 10 timer counts of this buff. at most. This one is reduces enemy Dragon Balls by 2 when this character is defeated. The following effects occur every time when faced with an enemy tag Saiyan. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade, -1 arts card draw speed level for 20 timer counts, and then inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 20% to damage received for 20 timer counts. Draws a special arts card next. His kit is pretty good. I mean, when this says, by the way, when faced with an enemy, it means whenever an enemy is switched in. That's the same wording that Super Saiyan 4 Goku Purple has in his kit as well. So this is pretty powerful. This is kind of cookie cutter, and then this is cookie cutter as well, but it's actually really good. Restores health by 10%, and then also ki by 30. Looks pretty average, but I think this is actually a pretty good effect. And we already went over his Z ability. I think this guy's going to be a pretty good addition to the GT team, if not just like one of the best bench buffers that the team has. We have 3 hero units that are new. Most of them, I mean, these 2 are kind of fodder. The only thing that they bring are the buffs in terms of Z abilities. So this Videl, she buffs 100% to strike defense at 14 stars. And then this Mercenary Tau, he buffs 100% to blast defense at 14 stars. So there's obviously going to be one of every, stat for these hero units. But in terms of their actual kits, they're not really that good. They're heroes, so I don't know. I wouldn't really look into that too much. Now, Hercule is interesting, because Hercule's stats are terrible, as you would expect from Hercule. But he does some interesting things. First, he has no switching on main ability. So just a 10-second lock, and he wants to be used alongside Boo units, because that's all he buffs with the Z ability. Strike, attack, strike, and blast, so both offenses for Boo units. So Zenkai Boo, looking pretty interesting with this guy. His green card restores ally health by 10%. You know which unit gives you a lot of green cards? Kid Boo. So a team with like Hercule, Kid Boo, and Zenkai Boo could actually be pretty annoying, because you're just going to constantly be healing Zenkai Boo with this green card. That's annoying. And then also, he has this card. This is a seal. He holds a card with a sealing effect for 5 timer counts. So, as if Zenkai Boo didn't seal enough, right? And then he also has, look at this, applies the following effects to all enemies when this character enters the battlefield. 100% chance to inflict strong poison, and then 100% chance to inflict paralyze. Now, it only activates twice, but this is so annoying. I hate paralyze. Oh, man, I don't know. This is going to be annoying to fight against, but he has, like, no stats, so it can't be too scary. Alright, and we'll just briefly cover these banners. They're, again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm going to be doing a separate video covering all of these banners in its own sort of separate video, but this is the banner. I think this is just a normal banner, but this is the way you get extra chance time tickets. I don't think this is worth it, but I'm not going to really know until we get more information on this, and when the game goes live, we can probably tell how good it's going to be. So I would not summon on this, obviously. I would save all your crystals for the actual anniversary banners. So for now, I would skip this. Again, there's like every sparking in the game on here, so there's really not a reason to summon unless you just really want these chance time tickets, or else they end up being like super valuable. I don't think they are, but we'll see. Next we have this banner. This is a free banner. You can just summon on this every day for free. Again, free every day. You get 1 consecutive, 0 crystals, and again, pretty much every sparking in the game is on here, so you're going to want stuff not down here. You're going to want stuff more so up here, like Super Saiyan 4s, like Rose, like Gohan, stuff like that. So hopefully you guys have some good luck on there. These are the actual banners. They split it up according to Super and GT. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this GT banner looks way better to me just off the bat. Vegeto, Super Vegeto's on here, Namek Goku. We got Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the new one, new Omega Shenron. We have Super Baby 2, we have the Super Saiyan 4s, we have Sin, who's only on 1 banner ever. EX Gogeta's on here, EX Sin is on here. And then we look at the Super banner, and LF Vegeta finally is back. Thank you. Gohan, who's been on like 400,000 banners. Zamasu's obviously insane. Trunks is insane. Rose is really good. This Vegeta's still really good. This Gohan's pretty good. He's not the craziest. This Trunks is okay. He's not the craziest. This Vegeta's not great. This Goku's still really good. And then we got the 2 new EXs on here. So that's really the discrepancy between those 2 banners. Yeah, and you're getting tickets for the ticket banner. And the ticket banner, again, is pretty much the same way that the last year's anniversary worked. And that's pretty much going to cover everything here. I mean, again, I'm going to do a separate video covering the banners themselves, so we'll look at that more in depth later, but We will put out another video once the game actually goes live and we can take a look at everything in-game, like in person. So until then, I will try and take a little bit of a break here because it's been a really, really hectic and crazy day for me, but hope you guys are enjoying the anniversary so far if you're watching this when it's live. Hope you guys enjoyed this video too, and I will see you all in the next one.